Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
Come in to, the Hump Day edition of your JP Peterson Show as we move on for the Buccaneers. It's now Bears week, right? Have we buried this Minnesota win? No, we're still going to talk about it. We're still going to bask in the glow of picking the Bucs in week one when so many doubted them. But here we are being homers, right? No, we just saw a good football team going up there. I don't know if we're going to call the Bucs a good football team just yet. It's week one, but we're going to get into lots of Bucs talk. Jameis to the Jets. Oh, come on. Please give me Jameis to the Jets. Oh, my God. Can you imagine the New York media with Jameis Winston? Oh, please. That would be a gift.
Check your stat sheet.
Check your sheet. Check your sheet. What's up, Peter Blake? Good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning, buddy. How you doing?
Oh, I'm excellent, man. I'm on one of my fast days, Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Don't forget. So Chris Lugo's got me on one of my fast days. So I'm jittery. I got my coffee. I'm just chugging lemon water. But I feel very energetic. Energetic for having not eaten in 12 hours now.
Wow. 12 hours you have not eaten.
Well, I'll take it to 15 right after the show, and then I'm going to just go crazy on, I don't know. I might go get a big-ass, giant Jersey Mike's Italian sub that I love so much. So I need to get Jersey Mike's as an advertiser. Anyway,
yes.
Or a local sandwich shop, which would be even better.
Mm-hmm.
We got a great show for you today. On Wednesdays, we do a lot of college football. Nick Geddes, my former co-host, will join us at 10:30. We'll talk some UCF football. Big news for them. John Rise Plumlee out with a leg injury, will not be able to play the next few weeks. So we'll see how UCF, off to a 2-0 start in the Big 12, will be able to get it going. So we'll talk some UCF football and probably some other things with Nick Geddes. And then we'll hit USF. Leo Haggerty will join us right before he goes to the USF press conference today. Who are they playing this week?
Alabama.
Oh, the team from Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
Coming off a worst home loss. Oh, my God. Oh, my poor Alex Golesh and the USF Bulls coming off their first win in 11 games. They have a 17-game losing streak to FBS teams. And here comes Alabama. Good luck with that.
Yes.
Dan Lucas will join us at 11 o'clock from WFLA. So we got some great guests today. We got lots to get to. So we'll get right into it. I cannot just, not that it's breaking news, but now you told me that Jameis took something off of his social media account, took Saints off it or something.
It looked like the Saints symbol was on there, and then it's not on there anymore. So people are just assuming that maybe he's up for trade. I think it's more nonsense because he still reposted the Saints press conference. So people are trying to make something out of nothing at this juncture. And of course, maybe
it's not a nothing. It's not a nothing. You got a guy that led the league in passing yards,
right? Right.
This is just so juicy with all the weapons that they have. Don't forget Dalvin Cook is there. Jermaine Johnson is there. Some Seminoles are there. and Dalvin and obviously Jameis are tight, Dalvin's knocking on that door. Robert Saleh going, come on, man. We can't get it done with this Zach Wilson jamoke. Come on. Come on.
Wait, they beat the Bills. He made some good throws. I mean, come on. Zach Wilson, you invested a number 1 pick in him. You can't just give up on him.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I think you can too. But
He's
I don't know
awful.
where you go with Wilson as your starter. I honestly don't. I don't know how good the Jets are with him. I know they have a pretty damn good defense.
I know this. They ain't winning squat with Zach Wilson. They ain't winning squat.
No.
With Jameis, you got a shot. You got a shot because Jameis will put up points. And here's when you got a great defense like that, though. When you got a great defense like the Jets have, I'm sure Robert Saleh doesn't want to, put his team in bad positions, his defense in bad positions all the time. But listen, it's an offensive league. You got zero shot to win a Super Bowl to go all the way with Zach Wilson. You got zero shot. With Jameis, I think you got a shot. Maybe, if 25 of the interceptions he throws, 10 of them are dropped, you still got a great defense. You're going to have an explosive offense. You got something. You got a chance. It's interesting. You're not interesting with Zach Wilson. The fan base hates him. His teammates hate him. The teammates will love Jameis. Jameis will come in there and energize the entire team. He will energize the entire team. The New York media will go bananas with the eating the W's and the crab leg. All the stories will come back. It'll be fun. It'll be great theater and you'll probably get him for next to nothing. Are the Saints really going to hold the Jets hostage for a second-round pick or a third-round pick? No, I don't think so.
Well, their other backup quarterback, what is it, Jake Haener? He's out for some games. So if you trade Jameis, you basically don't have a backup. So that may be holding up the deal. And then furthermore, you look at that offensive line by the Jets, it's not good. It's not good at all. We know that when Jameis feels pressure, he starts to commit some turnovers. So I don't necessarily think that's going to work. The only way this would work with any quarterback, whether it's Zach Wilson, Jameis Winston, Chad Henne, people are mentioning Tom Brady. Tom Brady's not going there. It's not happening.
Did you not see him last year? He was awful. My God.
Not a great offensive line.
That offensive line.
Right. So which is worse, the Bucs offensive line last year or the Jets offensive line this year? I would probably say the Jets offensive line of this year. Yeah. But here's the caveat with any quarterback. You're going to have 2 good, talented running backs. Breece Hall, he looked like the best running back in the league when he's healthy. You got Dalvin Cook there. So if you can depend on the running game, and that means basically running the ball 25 to 30 times, depending on your defense. And that quarterback basically has to be a DLG quarterback, which means don't lose the game. Don't turn over the ball. Can Jameis do that? We've seen flashes of it, 13-3 there before he got hurt. When Devin White took him down a couple years ago, we've seen some flashes of that, but can he do it long-term consistently? Can Zach Wilson do it? Because we know he has some turnover problems. Carson Wentz, can he do it? Yeah. I'm not sure. The quarterback options out there.
Maybe Trey Lance. Maybe Trey Lance goes there because he can run around.
I think
Jameis. You forget, though, Jameis was an escape artist. Jameis can deal with bad offensive line. He was an escape artist. He's really good at getting out of the pocket and making plays to somebody. He was really good at that. So I would love to see it, man. I would love to see it. And they got no shot with Zach Wilson, but whatever. Stay tuned. See who the Jets get. I don't think they're going to stand pat. They can't.
You're not buying Wilson, learning from osmosis, learning from Aaron Rodgers. You're not learning. You're not buying any of that at all. No, not the chemistry with him and Garrett Wilson. None of that stuff at all.
No. All right, so let's get on to the Bucs. All right, so yesterday, Rachaad White. I think it was Rachaad White. It was Rachaad White. Yes. He went on the Bucs podcast and said that Baker Mayfield came in at halftime and said, I got their signals. I know when they're going to cover 2. I know when they're going to cover 3. I know when they're doing their switches. And then, of course, they came out. I think he was 3 for 11 in the first half. And the second half was a completely different story. The 16-play, 75-yard drive right down the field. The Bucs were a different offense in the second half. He settled in, and they get the big dub. By the way, we have a Twitter poll out today. So let's get your get your by the way, I'm producing on the air here.
Well, that's
Got a note from RHS TV. Are we doing a show today? Did we send him the feed today? Did you hit the B for the feed today?
Hit the B. Yeah, the B is hit. Everything
Okay.
is hit at this point. Yeah, it's
No,
done.
hopefully, we'll figure that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna read these comments of what White said. I just remember Baker came into the locker room literally at halftime. I get it. I got it. We got it all. These signals. We're in there talking as an offense, and he's like, I know all these signals. If they do this, they're going into cover 2. If they do this, they're going into cover 3. Every time I alert this and they do this signal, they're dropping back to this. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. I was just listening to him, and we're just kind of understood. So Baker Mayfield showing the reason why you start him in the first place with those 69 career starts. He knows the signals from the Vikings defense that's helping him out. Shame on the Vikings for not changing their signals, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, they should have known something was up, but they did not. Listen, Brian Flores did a nice job, and Dave Canales going up against Brian Flores, that's a bit of a mismatch in terms of experience. But the Bucs definitely made the better second half adjustments, and also the Vikings played it really, really well. They were ready for the bootlegs. Every time Baker came out on a boot, there was a defensive end just waiting for him. Now, how do you combat that? Well, you hand the ball off inside. And you take advantage of them not committing it fully to the run, but the Bucs could not get anything really going on that inside running game. They got to be better at that. And we're not sitting here saying the Bucs are world beaters. I just think they're a much better team. I don't think it's a shocking win to go up there. As Scott Reynolds said yesterday, the Vikings were overrated as a 13-win team last year. The Bucs were grossly underrated as a 2-win team this year. That's not happening if they stay relatively healthy. So I think I don't think it was as shocking. And you look at where the smart money came in late, right? That was a 7-point spread to start in the offseason, and then came down to 6 as the season got closer, and then was at 4 at game time. So it's, when you see that, there's smart money and smart people were thinking, what, this Bucs team is better than we think. And listen, the defense obviously won the game. And this defense ain't going anywhere. As long as they stay relatively healthy, this defense is not going anywhere. In fact, I think they get better as the season goes on, as these younger players get better. I don't think we've talked enough about what we saw defensively. Obviously, Antoine Winfield was fantastic. He's back in his familiar spot in the back end of the defense. Shaq Barrett was really, really good. I mean, I don't see any remnants of his Achilles injury. I thought Bowles called a really good game in terms of, it's a little bit too much zone for me in the first half when Jefferson got off, but he caught 2 for 17 in the second half, and I didn't have the ball. That was the big part. It wasn't just the defense, it was the offense. The offense held the ball for 20 minutes in the second half. That's it. That's a game winning, as much as we want to say the defense played great, the defense can play a lot better when they're not out there all the freaking time like they were last year. And when you hold the ball for 20 minutes, was a 9-minute drive to start the game, to start the second half, and then they hold it for 4 minutes to close out the game. That's a badass offensive performance in the second half. It's not a lot of points, but it doesn't have to be. Winning football doesn't always have to mean offensively just putting up tons of points. Winning football can be eating the clock and keeping Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins off their home field and keeping the crowd out of the game by just running the football, being boring, but getting the points when you need to get them. And that's what the Bucs did offensively. So, the more and more you look at this win, the more good things you see. They're not a finished product by any stretch of the imagination, but they didn't beat themselves. Minnesota did a lot to beat themselves. But and I hear this a lot. There's a national narrative that Minnesota, 3 turnovers, they beat themselves. Well, one of the turnovers was self-inflicted. The other 2 were physical plays. Right? That was Antoine Winfield coming in and ripping the ball and with an explosive play. Well, I'm trying to think of the other turnover.
The other turnover was basically penetration in the middle, but because you have some type of injury, but you have to say it was also penetration from the middle guys there. Vita Vea, of course, Cansey, the middle of that line making some impact, so causing some trouble where the guy has a center exchange.
Oh, the other that was the self-inflicted one where
Yeah.
the center, the guard just knocked that out of his hands. I'm not going to give the Bucs. Itsian stole the ball from the receiver. That was a phenomenal play, and that's that looks like it's going to be a touchdown. The receiver has it in his hands, and a rookie makes that play.
Yes,
that's a hell of an aggressive. That was phenomenal play, and that's makes you feel good. That kid's going to get better and better and better as the year goes on. And what did we say before the year? This is a year where you want to see young kids grow. You want to see the later draft picks, the undrafted free agents grow into starters and really good players, because that starts building for your next appearance in the Super Bowl. And so far after week 1, what do we see? Logan Hall stepped up in his second year. Itsian stepped up as a rookie. Winfield back at his position it's kind of a plus for your defense. Devin White in a contract year balls his ass off. JTS showed up a little bit. Shaq Barrett back off of injury shows up. Deshaun Tucker with a little bit of a flash. You got young players. Devin Tompkins with a nice return and a couple of nice plays. Trey Palmer, a rookie, gets a touchdown with the nice job settling in the zone and get when you a 6th-round pick. So when you see these players start making an impact, all right, now you're building towards something.
Yeah, you're building towards something, and it's something good, and it's always good to see guys that are so young that you're undrafted free agents make an impact. And we talked about how excited we were watching this team in the preseason, how many guys made this team coming out of camp as an undrafted free agent. Could they contribute right away? The answer is yes, they can contribute right away. Sean Tucker has contributed a little bit. I think the future is bright for this kid, especially if White continues not to run as strong as he did, run as strong as he needs to. And then Itsian, as an undrafted free agent, already making plays, already making an impact. And we talked about Logan Hall. You know, there's a reason why you get excited about him, because he was a 2nd-round pick. The Bucs expect a lot of big things out of him. That's the reason why you move on from William Golston for a little while, and then you bring him back. And now Logan Hall is going to make those contributions. That's going to make that defensive line that much better. You have to have a defensive line rotation in order to have a Todd Bowles defense. You do.
Yeah. That's listen, that's where this team can improve a lot of different ways. So I like what I'm seeing so far. I like what I'm seeing. And then here come the Bears that gave up 38 points to Jordan Love and the Packers this week. Justin Fields was ordinary. Now they're not going to be as bad as they were in week 1. I think the Bears are going to be better. They've got some new players. They're going to settle in, but the Bucs can be better too. They can be much better offensively. Defensively they were excellent, but I think they can be. That was against a really, really good offense in the Minnesota Vikings. Here comes a crappy Bears offense. This Bucs defense can be better. Can they hold them to 17 points? They better hold them to 17 points. And if you hold the Bears to 17 points and they just gave up 38 to the Packers, well, then you should win this football game at home. You should win this football game at home. Look, nothing is given in the NFL. It's this Bucs team is far from a polished team. And this is on Todd Bowles this week to get his team ready and make sure that they're not, overconfident. And Lord knows they should not be, for God's sakes, with 1 win.
No.
But you don't want that complacency to fall in. The Bears are going to be desperate because they've got a tough schedule coming up. They don't win this game, they could be staring down the barrel of about 0-5, 0-6. So they know this is a very important game for them as well. And it's the National Football League. Anybody can win on any given day. So, if you're the Bucs fans, don't bank this one. But, it's a
winnable game, because you look at
not like the Eagles coming in on Monday Night Football.
I mean, look, Justin Fields has the potential. We talk about it all the time, potential being the most overly used word in sports. But, the thing with him is, can that defense contain him? Because you know that he's not going to be a guy that wants to throw from just the pocket. They're going to use him outside of the pocket. So you basically have to stay home. You have to know your keys. You have to know your assignments. You have to do your job. And then furthermore, if you get this team reeling and you get this team down 24-6 like the Packers did, you feel good about that situation. So the defense isn't great. The offensive line isn't great. And you have a young quarterback that's, once again, somewhat struggling. And there's a lot of Bears fans out there, and there's a lot of Bears commentators saying, is Justin Fields the guy? Is he the guy at the end of the day? And if he's not the guy, then you can always reset like the Arizona Cardinals did with Josh Rosen, drafting Josh Rosen in the top 10. And then you draft Kyler Murray. It hasn't necessarily worked out, but it's happened in the National Football League. So this is a big season for Fields, especially with the Bears organization and all the resources that they put around him. Make no mistake about it. He's a young passer. He's got lots of potential, but he is yet to show consistently that he can throw from the pocket. So what you do is keep him in the pocket, let him beat you in that pocket instead of outside of the pocket.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge key. And this athletic Bucs defense should be able to do that. They're fast. They've got talented guys on the outside. They're not the biggest defense in the world, but that should be something they're good at. Keeping Justin Fields in the pocket, and he's probably spying him with Devin White, who's played so well. So we'll see. We'll talk more about this matchup as we get closer to it and the week goes on. I want to transition a little bit before we get to our college football segments to the Rays, who they lost a tough one last night, and they had an opportunity to get closer to the Orioles, who finally freaking lost. So I believe they're still 2.5 out as they head to Baltimore this weekend for a big 4-game set to decide the American League East. And make no mistake about it, they need to win this division. We've talked about this for a few months now. There is no wild card for the Rays. There's no way, as depleted as they are, that they have the depth in the pitching or anywhere to go deep into these playoffs if they're not going to win the division and get that five-day bye. You get a 5-day bye, and where you're not playing a 3-game series against a team that is probably going to have a superior roster to you, being as depleted as the Rays are right now. They've got to be able to win this division to get to the division series, sit out 5 days, then you host games 1, 2, and 5. You get to set up your rotation, which they desperately need. They'll be able to give their bullpen some much needed rest. So it's absolutely critical. So last night, blowing that game was
frustrating. Frustrating.
That was a nut shot.
JP, 12-36 when you score 3 runs or less. And you have a great opportunity to finally catch the O's as they lose to the St. Louis Cardinals. Yeah. And Zach Littell, once again, pitched his ass off. The last 2 starts,
he was great.
Innings, only gives up 1 run. And this one, a good pitch that gets golfed out in the 7th inning to make it 3-2. And that's it. That's basically it. 6 hits total. And I get it. The Rays have all kinds of injuries, offensively to their pitching staff. But it's so frustrating sometimes to watch this team, especially with good pitching. You waste all that good pitching by Littell. You do.
Yeah, Aranda, not to just pick on him, but he's so overmatched. I'd hope that he could hit in the major leagues, but he can't hit a major league fastball, which is very disturbing.
That's a problem.
They just, like I said, they have no depth in their lineup now. Series out for 2-3 weeks now. They're hoping he come back. You don't come back from a broken hand in 3 weeks. They can be as optimistic as they want.
Yeah.
But I think that's pushing it. So all the more reason you got to have those 5 days off, because you get him back for the postseason. That was a missed opportunity last night. And who beats him? Joe Ryan. The guy you gave up to get Nelly Cruz, who was a bust. That was again, the Rays front office best in the business, but that was a whiff. That was a whiff.
Big time whiff.
Snell trade was a whiff. That was a killer. Because Joe Ryan can pitch, but that's it. You got to be able to get to the bullpen, and obviously they bring in the guy at the end of the game throwing 103 miles an hour. Freaking just flaming. I'm like, Aranda's up there. I'm like, yeah, this is not going to go well.
No, that's not going to go well. You want to hear from Kevin Cash real quick?
Yeah, let's hear from Kevin Cash after last night's 3-2 loss to Minnesota.
We'll start with the offense and the at-bats in this one, just the 6 hits. What were you seeing from the production behind the plate tonight?
Joe Ryman was really, really tough. He had a good fastball going. I don't think we ever made the adjustment. The good thing that we did is that we kind of drove his pitch count up to get him out of the game a little earlier, but their bullpen came in and did a heck of a job. I mean, Renee hits the home run, and other than that, we didn't have much to show for it.
And then Zach Littell, 7 strong innings, didn't walk anybody, 8 strikeouts, just that Willie Castro home run. Really, what'd you see from him?
He was awesome. Pretty unfortunate the way it ended for him. I feel bad for him. And even the pitch that Castro hits, probably a ball, 2 balls below the zone. He went down and got it, put a good swing on it. But, I mean, could not be more impressed with the way Zach is throwing the ball, continues to throw the ball, backed up his best start with another, you could argue, just as good today.
You got any idea it's going to be okay moving forward?
Yeah, so, got hit in the groin region, but I think he should be fine.
Yes.
Those are words you never want to hear.
You got to like how efficient Zach is coming in, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we seem to talk about after every one of his starts. Pretty remarkable how he's done it over and over. I mean, he just is so committed to the strike zone. Teams know it, and they don't want to get deep in the count with him, so he gets a lot of early swings and a lot of early outs.
Looked like he had Poche up in the 7th.
For Kepler, the leadoff guy would have got on, and then for Wallner, had Castro got on.
Right. So it was just a situation of where they came to in the order would have distributed your decision to make the move.
Yeah.
As far as Yandy, is he going to? Do you know if he'll miss another game or two, or is that
I hope
kind of
not.
a day by day?
Yeah, it'll be day to day, but as of right now, I hope not.
Check on the swelling.
Yeah, definitely check on the swelling there, because you could see it. I feel bad for the guy because it certainly seems.
Oh, are you kidding
me? He's gone
me?
through everything this year. He's been the most consistent hitter, as I said before. I believe he's the MVP of the Rays, and any other year he would most likely be in that MVP type of conversation. Now, do you want to hear from the losing pitcher?
Yeah, let's
Zach
hear from
Littell?
him.
All right,
Yeah.
Here we go.
We love Zach Littell.
You didn't walk anybody, 8 strikeouts. How'd you feel out there today?
Yeah, felt good. Thought my stuff was good. Tagged guys, got after it. Not a lot to complain about.
And then Willie Castro maybe just went down and got it in the zone.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks. Sometimes hitters just, put good swings on good balls. Thought I made a pitch. He put a really good swing on it. I went back and looked really briefly. I think it was below the zone, but yeah, those things are going to happen. Obviously, it sucks. It sucks for it to happen there, to lose the lead there in the 7th. But it's one of those that might lose sleep over tonight. But coming in tomorrow, just know that overall it was a good effort and take it into next week.
You backed up arguably your best outing with another strong outing. Does that feel good to kind of rack up back-to-back starts where your stuff is pretty strong, encouraging?
Yeah, sure. I mean, this is the time of year where you want to kind of be peaking, so I've been really happy with how I've thrown the ball and just keep building on it.
Was there anything extra with it being Minnesota today?
No. I mean, it's just another, I've never really got that when throwing against other teams. There's no animosity at all. It's just fun to be back here, and once you get out there, it's just another game.
Is it harder or not as hard when it was a good pitch? It was a pitch that probably wouldn't have been hit.
Yeah, I mean, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Being the 7th inning there, it would be frustrating if I grooved one and he hit it out. It's equally, if not more, frustrating to make a decent pitch and him still do it. But hitters get paid too, and sometimes you just get beat. So it sucks to end the night that way. But yeah, credit to him for putting a good swing on the ball.
All right, so it sounds like there's weightlifting going on back there.
Yes,
Get your weight up.
Trying to get the pain out of his testicular contusion. If you didn't see that, well, don't go look at the replay. He fouled the ball off and it hit him right in the cojones.
That hurts. It looks like
what's worse? Like, what's worse than having to watch that?
Let's see. Having to watch the Bucs offense last year in the red zone.
Yeah, that would be worse. The VMAs from last night.
VMAs from last night. I have no idea. I'm sitting down with family and they're asking me who this is, what this means, what they're saying. I have no idea. No idea at all who anybody is anymore. I don't want to be that guy, but I feel like I am that guy now.
I'm that guy.
What else? Oh, debate shows.
Anybody else feel that way either? By the way, I mean, I used to watch. I mean, this like 10 years ago, I could watch. Oh yeah, watch it with my daughter, and we know who these people are. I have no idea who these people are. I've never heard of them.
You know why? Because you have the VMAs on MTV, which, by the way, it doesn't make any sense because they show no videos anymore. They just show movies and reality shows and a show called Ridiculousness. And
I don't even like. Do they make music videos anymore?
On YouTube?
I saw. I guess.
I don't know.
Like it used to be when we'll go way back. Remember when Thriller came out?
Yeah,
like, that was like a movie premiere.
Yeah,
that was like a movie premiere.
Yeah,
and like a big song, like, oh, we can't wait to see this video or this video of this particular song. And now it's like I don't even know if they make them anymore. One of the reasons what's interesting is there's no real mass media anymore. Besides the NFL, you can't get people to watch a show. You get more than 3 or 4 million people to watch a show, like any show. Like it used to, even the nightly news. You would be able to watch, you combine the audiences, there would be like 60 million people watching it. Nobody watches that stuff anymore on network news for good reason.
Right.
Nobody, it's weird. So you don't have these mass audiences where people can, how do people get famous now? YouTube. They get you're watching us on YouTube.
TikTok.
TikTok, YouTube. It's not like on a, not like
reality show.
Sullivan show. Here come the Beatles.
Yeah, right.
It's like
Cardi B off a reality show. Yeah.
Right, if you were on the, the Johnny Carson show, if you're a Johnny Carson show, how cold was it? If you were on the Johnny Carson show, everybody knew who you were. David Letterman. Even when we go back to Johnny Carson, David Letterman. Now nobody watches the late night shows anymore. Like they get 0 ratings. It's so there is no mass media, so it's hard for you to know everybody unless you're studying the Billboard charts every month or every week. I don't know who these jamokes are.
No idea.
And I'm not the target market, but anyway.
Taylor Swift was there last night. You know her, right?
Yeah. So Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are dating.
Supposedly,
He got her number. He got her number.
I guess they're hanging out in New York. I have no idea.
Wow.
I mean, this could go one or two ways. One, he could definitely have somebody that, is great because she's top of the line right now. She just won 9 awards last night, VMAs. She's a top singer out there. Or two, this could go very bad for him because he could be one of those guys that Taylor Swift makes a song about.
He's already injured.
20,000 songs about the same thing, and she still is selling that idea.
She's worse for men than the Madden cover. He's already injured. He's already injured. I love my Tay-Tay because me and my daughter have it. We have a thing. We go to all the Taylor Swift concerts. When she was growing up, we got into the music. So I'm a Swiftie. I admit it, but she's a disaster for men. Like, are you kidding me? Like, he's got the first game. He hyperextends his knee.
What's worse, her for men or the Kardashian curse?
Either one. I don't want any one of them near my football players. Get away from my players. Baker's happily married, so that's we don't have to worry about that.
Right.
But stay away. Stay away from my Travis Kelce. First game. Now we know why. Why he's injured.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go. So that's the rumor, and of course he admitted in June that he didn't get her number or give out his number properly. So I guess she caught wind of it. And now, they're supposed to.
Let's bring in Nick Geddes on this because Nick is, Nick probably watched the VMAs last night. He always keeps me up to date on what's going on with the latest slang. And we'll talk some UCF football too. But I got it. What's up, Nick? Good morning to you, my friend. Let's pop him in here, Peter, if you can.
He's not here right now. I don't know what's going on.
I see him right down below
there. He is. Okay. All right. There we go. Let me go ahead and get that right there. There we go. Hey, Nick.
You watched the VMAs last night?
I did not watch the VMAs, JP.
Okay.
You know I'm in my little country music bubble, and they don't cover that at the VMAs. So I have no
Do they
interest.
not have any? They don't do any country music at the VMA.
They had Ballerini out there last night. What's her name?
Casey
Ballerini.
Ballerini.
That's putting
Casey
it
Ballerini.
loosely. That's putting it loosely. That's not country. Come on.
Well, she's going to be doing the same thing that Taylor Swift did. She's going from country to pop, and then she's going to cross over. That's what it was last night. It was the passing of the torch.
To cross over, you have to be something first. She's been pop from day one, just living in my world for whatever reason. That doesn't count, Peter.
Now that she's on the VMA, she's out. So she's get out of the country.
You're officially out. You're out.
We can't even have country music artists on CMA television anymore either because they write a song that pisses off some people, then they don't. They get thrown off of country music.
Listen, country radio is a joke. It's garbage. All radio is a joke, if we're being honest. Don't pay any attention to it. Listen,
I tried this. You guys try this at home or in your car when you do this today. As I never listen to the radio anymore. I'm one of the weird people that actually pays for Spotify, so I don't have to listen to the freaking commercials. My ridiculously rich friends will not pay for Spotify. $10. They may have hundreds of millions of dollars. And I'm the only one that has Spotify, so I have to use mine on the golf course when we play music. But anyway, so I don't listen to radio anymore. I turned it on because I have this in my neighborhood. There's like a black hole of internet. Like, even though you get 4 bars, you can't get internet in my car. So anyway, I have to turn on the radio for like 10 minutes. You can't hear a song. It's all ads. It's one you can flip from one station to the next. You can go 7, 8 stations, and there's about an 80% chance that you're going to be listening to nothing but commercials. Nothing but commercials. Who listens to the radio anymore?
By the way,
all these commercials.
And I'll just give you this example real quick before we get to the sports. I'm sure you guys are both familiar with Zach Bryan, who's like taking country music like crazy. You won't hear one song of his on the radio, yet he's going on a stadium tour next year. One of those dates going to be in Raymond James Stadium.
I'll be there.
This guy's going to be putting 65,000 across the country without any help from radio. That tells you where we are right now.
They won't play his songs for some reason, or just too many commercials?
You might, maybe once a week, you might hear one of his songs play. But that's really it. Mainstream radio does not play his music. He's done it all on his own for the most part, and he's going to have a stadium tour.
Wow. I've never even heard of the guy before, so now I got to pay attention. Yeah.
He's the most streamed country music artist next to Morgan Wallen on the planet.
Now I've heard of him. I haven't heard of – okay. So now I got to check that out.
All right. So John Rhys Plumlee is out for a few weeks. What happened?
Well, last play of the game, UCF was trailing Boise. And listen, John Rhys Plumlee, I told you guys this last week, he has to slide. And it was the same issues in this game. He was not sliding, just kind of reckless abandoning, taking on hits. And guess what happened? He slid a little too late, took a very, very awkward hit, almost to like his neck almost. It was really awkward. Well, his knee kind of got caught up and bent back a little bit. And if you look by the frame by frame, it was one of those gnarly looking injuries. Oh. And then he went back out there for one play, the adrenaline, but then he was limping everywhere, had to come out of the game, couldn't finish. UCF was able to get the game-winning field goal and go to 2-0. But I immediately saw that, and then he was on crutches after the game, and I'm like, I had tweeted it out earlier in the game because he wasn't sliding. I said, if he keeps this up, you are going to see Timmy McClain at some point this season. Yep. I had no idea it was going to happen the next week, but when you play that style, and he's not a bigger guy or by any means, it's bound to happen. So we roll with Timmy McClain, who, I know both of y'all got a chance to see him at USF. We've all got a chance to see him at USF. I think we're all high on him to various degrees. Yeah. And you get Villanova to start out with. I'm pretty excited to see it.
How confident are you in McClain? I mean, because we saw him at USF. Have you seen anything?
He had moments. Yeah.
Have you seen anything that would make you think that he'll be able to continue this winning streak for UCF?
Well, it's almost like the unknown, because his last start, ironically, was against UCF in the final war on I-4 in that season, and he almost damn near beat them as a big underdog, okay? And that showed a lot for Timmy McClain. You go back to the BYU game that year where they got out behind really, really early. he brought him back. When they were playing against Cincy, and that was the college football playoff Cincy, they were competitive in that game too on the road, led by Timmy McClain. So I saw some flashes there. He's a little bit of an unknown because if you recall when he came over last year, he was ineligible to play, and UCF's quarterback room had John Rice Plumlee, Mikey Keene, who's now transferred out to Fresno State, Thomas Castellanos, who, JP, you're going to see on Saturday, Boston College's new starting quarterback. He was so tucked away, and you're like, is he ever going to get a shot? And lo and behold, those two guys transfer, one injury away, and here we go. So it's almost like the great unknown. I personally, because I watched all the USF stats, and that was as a true freshman under tough circumstances, I think everybody who played under Jeff Scott, I'm going to call it tough circumstances.
Yeah.
He showed me a lot, and now he's got a lot more talent around him. And this is a great start. You get to play Villanova before you have to go into Big 12 play against Kansas State. So I'm pretty optimistic. I don't think the offense is going to change that much. He's going to be electric in space. So I'm ready to see it.
And let's not just gloss over this win on the blue carpet up there. I mean, Boise State's not what they were in the past, but it's a big win for them. And your boy, Colton Boomer, the Boomer, with a 55-yarder and a 50-yarder clutch.
Wow.
What a great name for a kicker, all name team. Colton Boomer, 4 field goals, and you get a big dub.
He has not missed a field goal, JP, since he came to UCF. They count it because he had to attempt a 63-yarder last year, but it was a miscommunication, and they weren't supposed to kick the ball. So Gus said every Monday, he's like, I don't even count that. He's perfect at UCF. He's essentially perfect. So you're going to see him kicking on Sundays. That 55-yard field goal, I think that thing was good from 65. I mean, this guy, he's one of the best kickers. I mean, Gus Malzahn called him one of the best weapons in all of college football. And I totally agree because they don't win that game without him. UCF probably should have won that game for multiple scores. Yeah. But 2 for 5 in the red zone. We got the number 1 receiver, Javon Baker, dropping wide open passes in the end zone, tip drill, interceptions. We got questionable play calling. We're trying to have the running back, RJ Harvey, who used to play quarterback in high school. We're drawing up trick plays for him to throw the ball. It's full of nobody. I'm just trying to pull my hair out. That was a very frustrating game to watch, but at the end of the day, they went into a place where Boise State had won 21 consecutive home openers. Make that 21-1. UCF, it wasn't pretty, but they got the job done. 3-0 is in sight before you get to Kansas State, which was the goal. So it's hard to be too upset with what happened there because they got the win.
What's your overall analysis after being 2-0? I mean, do you think this team can still have an opportunity to win this conference?
Oh, hell no. Hell no. I mean, let's be honest. Texas is still in this conference for this year, and we saw what they did to Alabama. They out-physicaled Alabama in their own stadium. So
yeah, that's crazy.
I still Texas has made themselves one of the favorites across not just the Big 12, but all of college football. I think Oklahoma is much improved from last year with Dylan Gabriel quarterback. Obviously, you see them. Kansas State's going to be a big test for UCF in 2 weeks. But I will say after those 3 teams, I think the Big 12 is pretty there's about 6 or 7 teams, UCF included, that I think are pretty close to each other. So I think they have a shot. I said 6-6 at the beginning of the year. I'm a little bit more optimistic after what I've seen from them and in the conference, and maybe they could get to 8 or 9 wins. We'll see. But winning the conference, no. They still have They still have a couple holes there that they need to fix. I think the best UCF teams are still a couple years away in this conference.
What are those holes, in your opinion?
The front 7 has been a little bit of a problem. They got some players. Josh Salazar has been very consistent for this team, but stopping the run is something that I'm concerned. Boise State, this Ashton Genty, he was all of Boise State's offense, and it kind of proved right there. I had told y'all I had my issues with John Rice Plumlee from a turnover standpoint. Obviously, he's unavailable now, so that's another key for Timmy McClain.
Those 2 picks weren't on him, though.
No, those weren't on him. Those weren't on him.
Passes. Yeah.
Right, those should have been touchdown passes, but obviously he's out of the equation now, so now you go back to Timmy McClain. So I think you have some holes there, and then your top receiver, Javon Baker, through 2 weeks, not looking good so far. And so it's kind of searching there a little bit. So there's some of those little holes that I'm seeing in them right now that's I think it's going to stop them from going to the top of the conference. But as I've kept mentioning, if you keep building on top 25 recruiting classes, give it 2 or 3 years, I think they'll be a player in the new look Big 12.
Yeah. All right, quickly take our quarterback poll here. Baker Mayfield, what's your confidence level? That's my quarterback, getting 48%, still skeptical, getting 40%. Bring on Trask, getting 0%, by the way.
Wow.
Mr. Trask. Tank for a top quarterback, getting 12%. So what you got? That's my quarterback, still skeptical. Bring on Trask or Tank for a top quarterback. What do you got?
Well, I guess of those, I gotta fall into still a little bit skeptical.
Okay.
I mean, the way the game started, I said it. My first half analysis was I miss Tom Brady. I can't believe I went there.
God. Did you really say that?
I actually tweeted that. I was like, I miss Tom Brady. Don't give me that. Don't give me that drop.
You
Come
missed
on.
Tom. What exactly did you miss about Tom Brady, last year's Tom Brady? The dirted throws, the not wanting to get hit, the getting rid of the ball before anybody could get out of their stance. What the 18 points a game? We got 20 with Baker.
I just saw a guy back there who was like, obviously Baker's a shorter quarterback, and he's going to have to throw it high, and he was just throwing everything high. We're throwing 3 balls to Keith. Didn't understand
that wasn't the smartest idea in the world.
Yeah, but then in the second half, when things changed, I tell you what, it was a breath of fresh air to see a couple plays where Baker was out, in space, and some quarterback design runs there on the outside. Obviously, the play there at the end of the game where he saw the hole. Had to get, 2 yards or 3 yards, I think, and he just went full steam ahead. Probably don't want Baker doing that every single week, but in that moment, you talk about gutsy and you talk about having balls. That was Baker Mayfield right there. He gets up, he wins the scepter, the angry run scepter, and week 1. Those were that. In that moment, I was like, that's my quarterback. But in all realistically, it was one game, not perfect by any means. I want to see more. The good thing is the Bears are horrendous, so I fully expect the Bucs to go to come back at home this week and get a dub and be 2-0. But I'm not going to anoint Baker Mayfield yet. Week 1 is a lot of wacky things that happen. I'm just I'll stick myself in the skeptical group for now.
Fair enough. All right, tell everybody how they can get the Charge On podcast.
Yeah, go to YouTube, type in UCF Charge On podcast, subscribe to our YouTube page. We're going to be recording a preview for Villanova tonight, which is going to drop tomorrow, and then we'll have on Sunday the game recap, expecting a win there. And you can find us on Apple and Spotify as well. And, of course, at BelieveNetwork.com. And, of course, follow me on the old X machine, Nick Geddes News.
All right, partner. Great stuff. As always, appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week. Charge on. Charge on,
thanks a lot,
you
Nick.
Citronaut. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, Leo Haggerty's going to join us. The USF Bulls, fresh off their first win in 12 games. And Bama's coming to town. Leo Haggerty will have the latest from the team that's about to get destroyed by Bama.
Come on, be more positive, James.
All right. We'll be back in 3 minutes with the positivity of Leo Haggerty. Stay with us. JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. It will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. So you're experiencing those feelings of getting older, lower sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, or you just don't feel like you had the vitality you once had. It's a chronic problem here in the United States. You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well. So do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Look, testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability, not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Folks, I've been on testosterone therapy for over 6 years, and it is a life changer. You will feel and look better than you did 10 years ago. Give them a call at 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local, we're trusted. The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The Jeeves Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. Only just me.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com, Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com as well. All right, let's bring in our good friend Leo Haggerty, who likes to follow around Alex Golesh and find out what the heck's going on with the USF football program. What's going on, Leo? How are you?
Hey, I'm hanging in there, JP. How are you and Peter today?
We are good. Big dub for the boys over the mighty Rattlers, my mighty Rattlers. Saw a lot of good things from Byron Brown, but way too many penalties. 14 penalties for 116 yards? No good. Mm-hmm. What'd you see about the win? What you like? What you did not like?
Well, I didn't like, and Coach Golesh brought this up yesterday, the post-whistle penalties, the pre-snap penalties, things that you can handle. And he said, we got to be aggressive, but we got to stop being aggressive when the whistle blows, because that just can't happen. What I like is, JP, they're starting to get the idea of playing uber fast, which is what Coach Golesh wants them to do. Yeah. And they score points, which is good. And the defense is starting to get a pass rush. That's the big thing. Still, I just don't know if they're big enough up front, as we like to say in the coaching profession, bringing enough ass. I don't know if they're bringing enough yet, but I tell you what, it's a whole lot different than last year where they were a bunch of midgets on that line. So
I know. I mean,
we're starting to see that.
So, yeah, and I thought Byron Brown showed some nice ability. 3 touchdown passes, a couple of touchdown runs. I like the fact that they went for it on 4th down a bunch of times. 2 of them turned into touchdowns. So what'd you like from the quarterback?
He's growing. And again, I don't think he'll ever make the mistake he made at Western Kentucky on 1st and goal and throw a pick. Throw the ball away, go to 2nd down. Yeah. And we saw a lot of that Saturday, where if he didn't have it, Peter and I were sitting up there, he wasn't, as we saw with Alabama, a one-look quarterback. He worked through his progressions. He didn't start running until he got through at least his 2nd and maybe his 3rd progression. And the big thing we're seeing now is he's starting to feel confidence in that offensive line protecting him.
And I tell you right now, I thought USF really missed out on some points there because they had a wide open receiver on 4th down. He misses them. You just put a little air under that ball. But this team has a propensity, Leo word, of going for it on 4th down and scoring. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, and what's nice is I think the offensive coordinator knows that we're in 4-down territory anytime we cross the 50. Again, the way the college game is coming out right now. A good defensive effort is keeping a team in the 20s. A great defensive effort is keeping a team under the 20s. You're going to have to outscore somebody because they're going to probably get, somewhere 20, 30 points. So you better be getting high 30s, low 40s at least.
Leo, if you're the defensive coordinator against this quarterback from Alabama, what do you do? Because we talked about it the other night. He's a one read guy, basically one read and take off. Do you try to keep him in that pocket and force him to beat you from that pocket instead of outside of it, like Justin Fields?
It's funny you should mention that, Peter, because I could remember the time Sal Paolantonio came into the Bucs locker room and asked Warren Sapp about the mush rush. How you just try to keep somebody in. He said, if we did that, Rod Marinelli would implode on the spot. They've got to get pressure on this guy. The problem is none of their defensive linemen is going to be fast enough to catch this guy. What you need to do is not let him escape outside.
Mm-hmm.
Keep him in the pocket. I don't know how good of a situation that is because Alabama's got so much speed on that outside. You got to get to him. You got to rattle this guy. And that's what impressed me about Texas last week. Texas had to get big last year, and boy, they got big and they controlled. When's the last time, JP, you can remember Alabama being outplayed on the offensive and defensive line?
I don't remember it at all. It doesn't happen. And listen, and this, I feel sorry for USF.
Oh, JP,
can you imagine? I mean, they get their worst home beat down. Can you imagine what practice is like this week in Tuscaloosa? Can you imagine what? Yeah, dadgum, poor Bulls. If I had a kid that was on the roster, Dave Robert, I wouldn't let him play.
Oh,
Alabama's gonna kill him.
Let me throw a couple questions out to you guys because I dropped the old World War II Admiral Yamamoto question on Coach Golish yesterday. I said, when he found out it was a sneak attack, he said we woke up a sleeping giant. I said, did Texas wake up a sleeping giant beating Alabama? And the reason I asked that, and gentlemen, there's a correct answer to this. When's the last time Alabama lost back-to-back regular season games? There is an answer.
2014.
Keep going.
I think 2017.
You're going the wrong way, Peter.
Yeah, you're going the wrong way,
bro.
The
wrong way.
2008.
You're close. 2007, his first year.
Wow.
Now, there's only been 4 times in the Nick Saban era they've lost 2 games in the regular season.
In a season, right.
And not including the playoffs, in the regular season. The worst fear USF has to have is these guys to come out focused. Now, I truly believe USF's going to score points. But Alabama can cook a 50 or 60 burger on them real quick.
Oh, yeah. You think? Yeah, I think they
can
just run the football and do that.
Any chance USF can keep this game close with Alex Golish and his attitude? Because it certainly doesn't seem like, he's too big for the moment. He was asked about it yesterday in the presser. Do you think USF can keep this game close, at least in the first half? Or do you think it's a blowout from
Peter? I don't think it's a blowout because, we're talking about a coach, and he brought this up, and I asked him, I said, you've seen these guys up close and personal. Mm-hmm. He said, yeah, we came up with an idea at Tennessee. Now, it took us a year to do that, but that second year they were there, we had a process, and the process worked. Now, can he install that fast enough? I don't know, but I'll tell you what, if I'm Alex Golish, if I'm his coaching staff, I'm preaching to my players, let's get this to the second half. Let's keep this within 7-10 points. Let's come out of halftime and have a shot at this. Because if it's 35-7, man, it's going to get ugly and the steamroller's rolling.
Well, the line is sitting at 32.5. I think it opened at 31, if I'm not mistaken. The over-under 61. I'm going to go. I think I'm going to lay the points on this one. I think Alabama wins this game 49-7.
Oof.
You don't see a blowout? You don't see a blowout?
I see a blowout, but I see a blowout more 55-35.
Yeah,
maybe. That's the thing, because Alabama has a bunch of defensive backs really banged up. So they're playing with a couple second-teamers in the secondary. USF.
Are those guys 4.5-star corners or 5-star
But
corners?
they're probably 4 3/4. You know, that's and again, when you look at what's going on, does USF playing that fast help them or hurt them?
That's what I was going to say. Why would you want to play that fast against Alabama? That's a bad idea.
Well, it's a bad idea if you're close, absolutely. But I think you start out that way just to see how they'll react to playing, because they didn't. And again, Tennessee's athletes are a little bit different than USF's, but the process, the uber tempo that they went at, Alabama never adjusted last year. So I think Golish is going to say, hey, let's push the tempo, see what we get, and then let's play it by ear, see what's happening.
All right. We will see next week, my friend, when you come on this show and tell me whether I lost money or won money. We shall see.
Yeah, you know what, JP? I'm taking the points.
All right. We'll wager. What's your favorite fast food restaurant?
Whatever. Hey, you and I and Hooters are buddies, right?
All right. There it is.
Oh, Hooters. Right
20
there.
wings. 20 wings on it right there.
Absolutely. And you know what the best part of it is? There's going to be 65,000 fans at this game.
Yeah,
That's
going to be fun. All right. Tell everybody how they can get your content, Leo.
Hey, go to Amped Up Sports on X, Twitter, Amped Up Sports 1. I'm on with Peter tonight on his show, so you can go to that. And, hey, follow us because we are really getting involved with USF. Bunch of pictures, bunch of videos. We had over 6,000 hits so far from the last game, and with Alabama, it's probably going to be over 10.
Nice.
And then on top of it, we're doing a post-game show live from the press box there. So
yeah, the red box, right, Peter?
Yeah, the red corner, we call it. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
All right, partner. Appreciate you. Thanks, Leo. All right. Good luck to those Bulls. All right, quick break. When we come back, Dan Lucas, News Channel 8 will join us, and we'll talk some Buccaneers. We'll talk some Rays. We'll talk all kinds of fun stuff, all things Tampa Bay sports, maybe a little USF in there as well. WFLA Dan coming up next. We're brought to you by Italiano Insurance. Go get that insurance checkup. They can save you thousands of dollars on your homeowner's insurance, your auto insurance, your business insurance, whatever it is. Let them do the work. You save all the money. 813-877-7799. Back with Dan Lucas when we return. Stay with us.
Sitting around the house. Well, the Golden Diamond Source will purchase a variety of different types of coins and bullion. Their gold buying program includes sterling silver, silver, platinum, and watches. They also accept unusual pieces that other jewelry stores do not, such as gold bars and sterling silver flatware. The list of items they do accept is far more extensive than those they don't, so check it out. While you're there, you can check out the largest collection of any family-owned jewelry store in the country, especially with summer coming to an end. The holidays are right around the corner. Never too early to start your holiday shopping, especially if you're planning on getting engaged or have any birthdays or anniversaries coming up. Come on in and find out what buying jewelry should be like with an expert staff of gold and diamond jewelry enthusiasts. And the best part, they treat you like family. And if you're worrying about price, don't. The Golden Diamond Source has something for everyone's budget. They even have a layaway. If you stop in and get your favorite piece now, you can have it paid off by Christmas. Plus, you can even finance your purchase with 0% interest for up to 5 years, and you can get a $5,000 diamond for only $83 a month. It's the greatest folks in the world, Julie and Steve Weintraub, the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement cost, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them
to help you out in both those regards. It will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Fitz the mortgage guy did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at The Patio. We will be there each and every Monday night for Monday Night Football. So stop by and say hello. We'll have our fan mic there so you can be part of the show. And you can get $4 White Claw seltzers, $4 White Claw drinks, vodka drinks, and all the other specials they have going. They have a great happy hour each and every day from 3 o'clock to 7:30 at The Patio. Cool place, a great outdoor venue. So have a couple drinks underneath the palm trees there, big decks out there. Great. They've got a great indoor area with nice AC where you can play darts and all that fun stuff. It's not like those stuffy sports bars that are going to charge you $12 for an IPA, folks. Go enjoy the relaxed, casual atmosphere of The Patio. And every Monday night we'll be there 5 to 7 with our Monday Night Football presented by White Claw. So head out to The Patio where everybody meets at the patio.
That's it. We encountered a couple out there that was on their 4th date. We were trying to make a love connection. We already did. It was pretty good.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah, they met on a Friday, and we're back on a Monday, and had 4 dates.
And they weren't tired of each other by then. That's a good thing.
I wonder if they were both Bills fans, though. So I wonder if they broke up after that Josh Allen debacle. We didn't stay to watch the game, which would have been interesting, actually. With Rodgers going down with the 4th play, Bills fans must have been like apoplectic. They must have been, oh my God, they're going to crush these guys now. And then Josh Allen throws 3 horrific picks and fumbles the ball away. That was a Jameis-esque performance. I mean, just throwing into coverage, just throwing the ball up. And that ain't new for Josh. He did a lot of that last year. I'll tell you what.
Yep, that's not a Madden curse. He's done that, and that's the big time question mark with him. You know, as great as he can be, we've seen that he is one of the best young quarterbacks in the league who, you know, can make all the throws. There's also the problem of decision making and interceptions and stuff like that. Yeah,
I mean, just Jordan Whitehead must have been like, "Hey, thanks for the Christmas bonus I'm going to get." And then my next contract, getting 3 picks in one game, just tossing it to him. So whatever, that's their problem, not ours.
Yeah, 1 game, 3 interceptions, and everybody's like, the Bucs should have kept him. You guys were crickets last year when Jordan Whitehead was playing. Now, come on, 1 game, and you're ready to bring him back.
He was a good player for us. I think the Bucs wanted to keep him, but can't keep everybody.
Right, exactly.
Good player. All right, speaking of a good player, let's bring in the playa himself, Dan Lucas from News Channel 8. You didn't go to Minnesota, did you?
I was not there.
Okay.
But I'm a huge fan, by the way, of that stadium. I have covered the Bucs there, and
loud.
That place is unbelievable. It's gorgeous and it's loud. Yeah, the Viking fans bring it. But I was told there were a ton of Bucs fans at that game. They got tickets somehow, and I think a lot of them were at the Rays game the next night, Monday night in Minneapolis, which is awesome. When you can pull off that double. I think it happened in Pittsburgh last year. The Lightning were there, and the Bucs were there. So that's kind of cool. See, that's being a savvy sports fan. That's checking your schedule and making it happen. So kudos to all those fans who did that over the weekend.
They must have had a good experience too.
Well, Dan, some would say the Bucs weren't there in Pittsburgh, the team at least.
No, they weren't. Not that day.
Brady certainly wasn't there the night before. We know that much.
Right, yeah. Well,
or on the Sunday.
I think a lot of people remember they got their butts whipped by Mitch Trubisky late in that game. Well, it wasn't even Kenny Pickett who did the damage. It was Trubisky.
Again, after doing it the year before. Remember that debacle as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, you know what? That's ancient history, baby, because the Bucs are 1-0. Baker's 1-0, winning the angry run scepter in week 1, telling some guy to get your weight up after he stiff arms the corner. I mean, you want to make some fans? I think Baker made a few fans week 1. What do you think?
Yeah, he did. That was blue collar, working man moment for him. That might have been better than the result of the game, the attention he got that the NFL Network gave him. I thought it was terrific. And yeah, get your weight up, boy. I'm thinking to myself, I'm trying to get my weight down. He would look at me like, what would happen if I were out there? Get your weight down, Lucas. Get your weight down. That's what he'd say.
Well, we got a quarterback Twitter poll going right now. We have a new leader. We have a new leader. So I said after week 1, Baker wins the angry run scepter and gets a huge dub. What's your confidence level in Baker Mayfield? That's my quarterback. Is now in second place at 43%. Still skeptical is taking the lead.
Wow.
At 47%. We're only around the first turn. Still skeptical is taking the lead. Bring on Trask is at the bottom. Is bringing up the rear with 0%.
I think fans, you know what? That sounds kind of accurate, I think. I thought I was for the Baker Mayfield. When they signed him and all that, I'm like, good, let's get him in here. He had all the reasons in the world to come in here and focus and become a leader on this team. Now my question is, and it was before the season started, okay, you're the guy. Let's say this goes very well. Take out the what happens if it's a disaster. If it goes well, how can he handle success and sustain? And we know his persona, his personality, which to me is infectious in a good way.
Yeah.
Sometimes if things don't go well, now, oh, he's cocky, oh, he's this and that. He's not good in the locker room, even though no one knows what's going on in the locker room. I think now if the Bucs can string some wins, I want to see how he handles himself and stays within the offense and utilizes the weapons around him. Which, if you go from the straight discipline standpoint, when Dave Canales was hired and that first availability with him, the press conference, he said, this is not a quarterback's offense to shine and go crazy. They are the point guard and they are to distribute. And that's what Baker Mayfield did. It was tremendous. And I'm telling you, if they keep that going, the offense is only going to go up, if everybody stays relatively healthy. Because I think even within that game, I think we saw the growth of Dave Canales as a play caller and having to adjust. And that was something that he just had to go through as a first-time coordinator. I think it gets better and better each week.
What are you thinking when he's trying to go for that third down, trying to convert it? He's putting his shoulder down.
I think that's the moment. That's I know. Yeah, when you're watching it on TV, you're like slide, but of course he wasn't at the marker yet. So taking off and running is a little redundant if you're not going to get to the marker. So I think the competitor in him knew the line he had to get to. Yeah. So I'm okay with it. Anytime you lead, head first, but it's more the shoulder for the quarterback. You're putting yourself in a position to land hard on your shoulder. That's dangerous. But I don't know how you avoid it. That's the thing for me. And to tell a guy to worry about this, and this,
and you got to know right there. That's the time you got to go for it.
Yeah. I don't like planting the safe this and safe that too much because now they can't be themselves. And he's worried about 15 things other than getting to that yard line. I think you need a competitor to do that. Even Tom Brady on all those sneaks, I'm like, dude's going in head first. Yeah. 6 defensive backs are hitting him as he's going in for 1 yard. Even that had its risks that made me cringe a little bit when you see a guy like that leaning forward. But I know I was fine with it.
Did you cringe when Todd Bowles makes that decision on 4th down at his own 32? I mean, do you like that?
I do now. I do now.
Let's go for it. Hell yeah.
You know what? Good for him.
Yeah.
for him. He even said when we sat down with him Monday, he said we went up there to play to win. And I wouldn't say that's out of character, but it was out of character to start expressing that.
Yeah.
And you know what? Screw it. His ass is on the line.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. And if he's going to go down, and he's going to just go down his way, I love it.
Exactly.
I love it. And Riverboat Todd.
I don't know if we're going there, but no, but you sat down with him last year every day, all right, every week. You did a one-on-one with him, and you've done some in the off season. I noticed a different Todd Bowles. You have a much better perspective than I do. He coached, to your point, he coached way differently in this game than he coached last year in managing the game. And I've said this, that, as much as I love that dude, I can't defend his record. I can't defend the way he coached last year. I want him to succeed, and I wanted him to change. And damned if he hasn't. I mean, what do you see? You've seen it up close. Is he a different dude this year? I think he is.
He's, every time we've ever sat down with these coaches over the years, and it goes all the way back to Greg Schiano.
Yeah.
There's what you have when you're sitting there and you're putting on the microphones and you get, there's like 3 minutes of small talk. Some of these dudes are hilarious. They talk about their families. They talk about what their son did the other day. My son texted me the other day. I got to go pick him up, And when you get to know that regular side of them, Todd Bowles is he's a dude.
Yeah.
He has a persona that he puts on that he does not want to have an image that shows him other than what we know. He's a humble guy, but he is funny. He went to his son's first game at Georgia a couple of weeks ago. He was very excited about that. He was telling me about that on Monday. So he's a guy that he's not stupid. He knows that he's got to do some things to elevate this team and elevate himself and his staff, and took the risk hiring Dave Canales and making these changes. I think it's great that he's come out of the shell a little bit.
Yeah.
And I hope we see it a little more, because
I do too.
It's a message down the schedule that if you're in a one-score game with the Bucs, get ready to strap on, because the Bucs are not gonna, they're not gonna punt necessarily. And I think it's a good thing.
Damn good thing. All right, let's talk a little bit about the defense as well, which I think is going to carry this team. We've talked about this, but getting the 3 turnovers, 2 of which they forced, 1 was a gift. But huge turnovers. Isian's play was tremendous, as was Winfield's, but all key to winning the game. But the consistent pressure they got, I think, was good. Even the plays that Justin Jefferson made had to be great throws and great protection. They made him work for every freaking thing they get. They give him 41 yards rushing, would not let them rush the football. I thought that was a phenomenal defensive effort up there against a really, really good team that averages about 32 points a game at home last year. That was phenomenal.
For a sample size, that was as good as it gets. And, when you say Justin Jefferson, automatically you're thinking, he's going to get his, and he did. But
in the first half.
To limit that, and that's an adjustment on Todd Bowles as well. That's why I'm not really worried about the defense, because he's not new. He's had his hands on this thing since 2019. So he's going to make the adjustment to keep that. And I agree with you that this team's going to have to win it on defense all season long. And 17 points, right? I guess that's the fair number to say, 17. They were right on the money, and they did exactly what they had to do on offense to get more than 17. I was a little alarmed with the big chunk plays, but when the Vikings got into the red zone, they were going nowhere. And I thought that the pass interference, was that on Isian on the goal line?
Just bullshit.
Terrible.
I thought that was lame. And then of course the next play there was a missed tackle, and the Addison guy gets in. But you take that away. I think this is going to be a scary defense. Now they got to stop a running quarterback. A lot of discipline coming up this week for them against the Bears. So if they do that, it's going to be another one of those days. Low scoring.
How do you see that matchup versus the Bears, Dan?
I see the Bucs holding the Bears to a low number. Let's put it that way. If they can contain Fields running around, the Packers just made a mockery of the Bears. I thought and they did it with their offense.
Yeah.
You know, with their debut quarterback, and when I saw the highlights from that game, I thought, oh man, if the Bucs offense picks up where it left off, where it was progressing and trending, I guess, in the Minnesota game, this could be a big day. It could be a big day. This could be one of those 28-10 games if it plays out the way the Bucs played last week.
I think the run game for the Buccaneers has the biggest chance to improve. I wasn't impressed with Rachaad White. Did not make very many good cuts. He had some opportunities, didn't do it. I think we might see a little bit more Sean Tucker this week if Rachaad can't get it going early on. So I see a chance for some great improvement there. What do you think?
I agree, and even Rachaad himself said he was disappointed in his performance. Running behind Leonard Fournette last year, and remember, Rachaad made a number of starts last year out of necessity. So it's not like it was his first start and he was overwhelmed with it. He's been on this stage. I think competition will be really good for him because he responded well in competition behind Fournette to get in that spot, to be able to show what he could do. And Rachaad White's other strength, in my opinion, is blocking. So you can't underestimate that. Giving Baker Mayfield some time. I don't go back and watch the high film like a lot of folks, so I couldn't sit there.
I'm a sicko.
I'm sure.
And he had a great, and Rachaad had a great blitz pickup on the touchdown to Mike Evans. He went up and just smoked the linebacker.
So that's overlooked. Yeah. You could probably count. I don't know. You may have counted the plays that he was in pass protection and
I'm not that sick. I'm not counting this pass.
Yeah, I want. Give me some data. I want data, JP.
Numbers. I just watch for like individual, little things that pop out. And one of the things that popped out was Devin White and his discipline. Yeah. There were a couple plays where, and this, every year last year, for the last few years, teams, they will target Devin White with his undisciplined play, and they'll flow one way, and and the guy he's supposed to be covering gets out the back door and he's nowhere to be found. Well, Minnesota tried that the second series. And my boy was like right there waiting for it to happen. I was like, damn, that's what I'm talking about. It's it just looks like an incomplete, throwback pass. But that was like, and then of course in the plays that he was supposed to make, he was all over the freaking field. So Devin White got the message that, you want 20 million, go play like it. And damn, that boy was playing for the bag. And I hope if he played like that all year, this defense is going to be freaking lights out.
I love his attitude right from the beginning of training camp. And I know the Bucs put him out there to talk to us on either day 2 or day 3 of camp.
Yeah.
And that was my first indication that things are going to be all right because they don't put guys out there who are mired in controversy or upset about whatever. Whatever took place behind the scenes to get everybody on the same page, put him in a good spot. And like you said, it was discipline and playing fast within that. But he's another guy that I want to see sustain the way he plays after having success. It's easy to go out there and say, I got to prove myself. But it's another thing when everybody's patting you on the back. And I think the Bucs, that's the next challenge for many guys on this team to come back and do that effort again and again and again. I looked at the bye week and I thought, they could be pretty decent and be 1-3. This win changes everything, in my opinion. That win. Too. I mean, I expect minimum 2-2, but 3-1 is completely in their grasp. And then on the backside of the bye week, there's a chance to stack up wins.
Yeah.
So this win in Minnesota did a lot for this team.
Huge.
Yep.
All right, partner. I know you got to go do your other work. Any other thoughts on anything else you guys got going at Channel 8 that's non-Bucs related? Because the Rays are in the thick of it. I don't think they got enough with all the injuries that they've had. It's just I don't think they got enough to go deep into, and I'm not sure they can win the division now either because Orioles are just playing great baseball. And we're hearing that the stadium is going to, we're close to a deal in St. Pete. I don't believe it. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I think the ballpark I think the timing now of any ballpark developments should be shelved because they have 16 games left. I just think they need to create a buzz for the club. They have one more homestand. They play 4 games against Baltimore starting Thursday. So, I mean, if you go 2-2, it's a clean slate. But last night, the Orioles hand them a gift.
I know.
And I'm not going to sit here and bash Zach Littell because he was tremendous. And the home run, the go-ahead home run for the Twins.
He takes it off his shoe tops, for God's sake.
The guy digs the ball out. I mean, you absolutely tip your cap to the hitter. Yeah. And the look on Littell's face is like, how did you even get a hold of that, let alone do what you just did? So I'm all in on this chase. I think this series this weekend is a big deal. For the Rays, but I think the club should focus on that. The front office and ownership should dive in. By the way,
perfect time for Stu to put that thing out there,
quick,
though, right?
We'll cross and a bag of ice for Yandy Diaz, and I hope all as well.
2 words you never want to hear, Dano: testicular contusion.
What's worse? What's worse than watching that? What's worse than watching that, Dan? Because we're gonna have a poll on that also. Is it the Bucs offense last year in the red zone? Is it the debate shows on ESPN?
The VMAs last night. What's worse than watching that?
What is it?
If the analogy is, do I want to watch this or a guy taking in the nuts? I don't want any guy to take it there. I speak for all men. I would watch anything else other than that.
Well, not all men, because these days, not all men have those to worry about.
Careful,
that's not
JP.
Not the first testicular contusion in Rays history. I pointed out last night that Carl Crawford was also a victim on a throwback to first base. The throw was so bad that if it doesn't hit him, it rolls into right field.
I remember
Crawford, but no, it hits him right in the kaniki. And he admitted that he had forgot to wear a certain piece of equipment that day. That was a contusion.
That was a testicular contusion.
Exactly.
10-day DL, testicular contusion. You don't ever want to see that.
Buddy, we've all been there. You're sitting on the couch going, my God.
Yep.
What happened? Yes. Oh, it happened a day ago.
Yep.
What happened? Exactly.
The first ball at third base I ever fielded on AstroTurf. I didn't get the glove down in time because with that thing just skipped right. Playing at Mark Light Stadium at the old first time I'd ever played on AstroTurf, and Coach Fungo's one down to third, and I'm like, okay, they should get a true bounce here. That moves a little bit faster on the turf than it does on the grass.
I had in my brief football career, which was all of 3 years in the WFLA here in Tampa, Skyway Park, 10, 11, 12 years old. I had, we'll call it a contusion, and I had the wind knocked out of me in a separate game. And I remember laying there when you have the wind knocked out of you. It's a little frightening, but you come to rather quickly. The other, I would rather have the wind knocked out of me and have that fear 100%. Than deal with the contusion. That was brutal. I didn't know what that was back in the day, but dude, Yandy, just take your time, brother. You'll be all right.
Poor Yandy, man. Poor Yandy.
We used to have our high school baseball coach, the great Len Cook, may he rest in peace. He would every few practices he'd do cup check, and you don't wear your cup to practice all the time, right? Who's doing that?
Oh, you get a little tap.
Well, he'd everybody have to line up on the first base line, like lay down, and he'd come by with the bat and he'd hold it like, about 4 feet above your cojones. And then you had to decide whether because if you didn't have your cup, you had to run 3 laps. So you had to decide whether you were going to take it or run 3 laps. Because sometimes he would, he could miss, could hit you a little bit above and you're fine. Right. So then you had to make the decision, like, is he going to be on target today? Or what are you going to want to are you wearing your cup?
As soon as he said, all right, boys, line up.
All right, Coach,
how many laps? How many laps? I'll start running now, Coach. How many laps?
Well, the funny thing is a lot of guys would roll the dice, because you got You got to get a good shot. If it doesn't hit right on the spot, you'd be okay, right? It's not going to be that much.
Through it.
But if
Yeah, you suckers. Yeah, you guys are running out there.
But
this might be the greatest JP show ever.
Oh, yes. We can do a whole show on testicular contusions.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Sure, good. Oh.
So when it hit the sweet spot, you knew it. It's like, oh, he bet wrong.
God,
he bet wrong.
I mean, I keeled over in my seat. I watched the replay. I keeled over in my seat. I wasn't hit. I didn't get hit. I felt it.
You feel? Of course you do.
I felt it.
Of course you do. It's what do you call that? Not osmosis, just whatever.
It's like telepathic.
Yeah.
It's just, all of us were like, oh. I had a guy in Europe. A guy in Europe asked me what happened on Twitter last night. I described it to him, and he goes, oh, no. So, even it was a worldwide event.
The worldwide testicular contusion.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Oh, my God. All right.
Dano. That's why they make ice. All right.
That's right. Get at the ice packs. Let's go. Get the swelling down. All right, partner. Where can everybody find your content there, my friend?
WFLA Dan for Nothing Serious. And then tune in 6-11. We're also on the CW now at 6:30 and 10 o'clock. So all your sports action. We had great Alex Golish last night. Talking about the Alabama game, and he's doing all the coach speak. You know, this is another game, that type of thing. And we're like, no, coach, this is not another game.
No.
It's a 32-point spread. Let's call it what it is.
It's a bloodbath.
This is an opportunity for USF, my opinion only, because they don't want to hear, loss is a loss. If you can match wits or go toe-to-toe with Alabama as long as you can and show up on national television, that sells your program.
Yeah,
that sells your program. I don't think a lot of people are expecting USF to win. But if Alabama wins by 2 scores because USF punched them in the mouth, then that's awesome. That's just me, and I'm not involved in the program. So Alex Golish doesn't want to hear that, but that would be a great result for USF.
I'm taking the points. I mean, I'm laying the points. I'm laying the points.
I'm trying to be positive about it, but then again, you think about it, the way Alabama just got beat by Texas, you know they're going to be pissed off when they come here.
Yes.
Saban is killing them in practice. Are you kidding me?
Oh, my God.
Well, I'll tell you this. If it's 35-0 Alabama and USF drives down at the end of the game, kick a field goal just to get under that, get to the number, just to piss off all the Vegas people.
Yeah, the Alabama fans, who will be outnumbered the USF fans about 5-1.
Right, exactly.
We shall see. All right, partner, great stuff. Good to chat with you. Watch WFLA News Channel 8, 6 and 11, Dan Lucas, and the CW now. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right, it's good stuff.
It's testicular contusion. 2 words you don't want to hear.
All right. I got to say, that's it. Like there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we will take a break. We come back. We're going to talk some more college football. FSU was at Boston College this week, and boy, does Florida have a big game against Tennessee. So we'll hit that a little bit. We'll talk some Rays, some more Bucs, all kinds of good stuff here on the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the Gold and Diamond Source. If you have some old gold coins, some old gold jewelry, some old gold whatever, silver flatware, bring it in. They will give you cash money at the Gold and Diamond Source. So don't just let that stuff sit around. Go cash it in, put it in an investment account, and let it work for you. That's what I'm talking about, right? The Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Omerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Back in 3. Stay with us.
Old coins sitting around the house. Well, the Gold and Diamond Source will purchase a variety of different types of coins and bullion. Their gold buying program includes sterling silver, silver, platinum, and watches. They also accept unusual pieces that other jewelry stores do not, such as gold bars and sterling silver flatware. The list of items they do accept is far more extensive than those they don't, so check it out. While you're there, you can check out the largest collection of any family-owned jewelry store in the country, especially with summer coming to an end. The holidays right around the corner. Never too early to start your holiday shopping, especially if you're planning on getting engaged or have any birthdays or anniversaries coming up. Come on in and find out what buying jewelry should be like with an expert staff of gold and diamond jewelry enthusiasts. And the best part, they treat you like family. And if you're worrying about price, don't. The Gold and Diamond Source has something for everyone's budget. They even have a layaway. If you stop in and get your favorite piece now, you can have it paid off by Christmas. Plus, you can even finance your purchase with 0% interest for up to 5 years, and you can get a $5,000 diamond for only $83 a month. It's the greatest folks in the world, Julie and Steve Weintraub, the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Hey guys, are you experiencing those feelings of getting older, lower sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, or you just don't feel like you had the vitality you once had? It's a chronic problem here in the United States. You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well, so do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Look, testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability, not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Folks, I've been on testosterone therapy for over 6 years, and it is a life changer. You will feel and look better than you did 10 years ago. Give them a call at 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local, we're trusted. The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The Jeeves Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on Fanstream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here on this hump day. Thanks so much to the patio. We will be out there on Monday nights for our Monday Night Football 5 to 7 this week. And so go check it out. Come by and say hello. We have a fan mic there, so you can come by and get on the show and enjoy $4 White Claws. We're presented by White Claw. Have a seltzer or $4 of White Claw vodka. They have their own vodka now as well.
Wow.
Hump day.
There you go.
So if you don't want to partake in the seltzers, you can partake in a little bit of vodka. Very good vodka, by the way. Very smooth, no hangover. Great White Claw vodka. And the patio's a great place to meet anytime. They got a great happy hour each and every week, each and every day from 3 to 7:30. $1 off all beer and wine, and it's already cheap to begin with. So check it out. A casual tropical paradise of the patio, 421 South MacDill. You come out and see our show each and every Monday night from 5 to 7 o'clock. All right, let's get to some of our great commenters before we get to some of our other stories we need to get to. Thomas Casper had a problem with me because he's a big Brady sycophant. About
what's wrong about that? Because how many throws did you see last year that were dirted before even the play develops?
Somebody's going to hit me.
Right.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be.
He didn't dirt all of them. There was that throw in the end zone in the playoff game where he didn't want to get hit and
to the other team. Yeah,
threw it up for picks. You know, I don't want to make. You know, we love Tom. We thank you, Tom, for coming here. But last year was forgettable.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah. What else we got? Yeah, we talked about this at the top of the show. Jameis to the Jets. By the way, regardless of Jets win, no way Jets win with Zach. That's right. They ain't winning crap. Hear Chad Henne's name thrown out there?
Chad Henne.
I like Chad Henne still playing?
Why
Wasn't he Brady's backup at Michigan, for God's sakes? Chad Henne?
Well, remember, he was a part of beating Baker in that playoff game because Mahomes goes out with an injury.
That great drive, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. It's like he drives him down one drive, and it's like, let's go get Chad Henne to start. Okay. Okay. I don't know about all that. Here's one from Charles Richardson. San Francisco invested way more in Trey Lance. They could put Zach on the back burner. Would they go get Trey Lance?
I don't think Jerry's going to get rid of him. I think the reason why Jerry got him in the first place is because he has plans. Because in the back of his mind, not only does he see value there, because, of course, the 49ers gave up 3 first-round picks, right? Mm-hmm. But also, if Dak is not the quarterback that you're paying and he has that turnover problem again, then I think there's a thought in the back of his mind. You could go to him as a future quarterback, as crazy as that sounds.
I think he's more of a insurance, or I should say a negotiating tool for Dak's next contract. If Dak just makes unreasonable, they can always say, well, all right, we're going to go to Trey Lance.
Maybe it's a case of Steve Young, right? I mean, Steve Young, Joe Montana. What did you give up? What did the Bucs get for Steve Young? What was it, a 4th-round pick also?
I don't even remember.
It's like a 4th-round pick that the Bucs got from the 49ers.
Not a great trade.
Well, he ended up being a Hall of Famer, yeah.
Jameis much better than Zach, says James. If Jameis plays like he played for the Saints, then Jets have a chance to be competitive. With Zach, it's 5 or 6 wins at most. People don't forget. People do forget. When Jameis first started with the Saints, he started, 3-1, 4. I mean, he was on his way to a great season. He was like 16 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and then Devin White ripped his knee.
Yeah, I thought it was 13-3 or 13-2 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he was playing great football, and Sean Payton was managing him really, really good. He wasn't throwing picks. He went right down the field the first series against the Bucs and just sliced us up.
Yep.
And they scored a touchdown. So I'm still a closet Jameis Winston fan. I would love to see him get a shot at New York. I'm not saying he would go up there and light the world on fire, but it would be fun to watch. It would be so fun to watch the New York media and Jameis Winston. Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah.
Coming in. And listen, either way, it's going to be entertaining with Jameis. He's going to, he'll throw 4 picks, but he'll also throw 5 touchdown passes. And with that defense, I don't know. I'm in the entertainment business, right? We're in the entertainment. We're supposed to be entertaining you folks. What's more entertaining than that? Jameis Winston in New York. Are you kidding me?
Right. Well, it was 14-3, by the way.
Yeah, see, I told you. Yeah, he was doing really. And what was that? 5 games in?
Let me see here. Let me go back to the statistics here. Let's see. Let me see. It doesn't show, but at the time he had 1,100 yards. I think it was about 4 or 5 big games in.
Yeah.
It was early in the season. That's when Devin White and the Bucs put him out. It was early. So
yeah.
I mean,
as James says, USF, if your program's only a little ahead of FAMU, this team is 3 years from any type of respectability. I mean, FAMU closes it to a 1-score game in the 4th quarter.
True.
That's not good.
And it's not good.
If you're USF, I mean, I expected way more.
A blowout. Yeah. And they should have had more points on the board. I mean, they miss a key 4th down. Guy is wide open in the end zone and Brown misses him. Just got to put a little air under that ball right into it, and he's got it for a touchdown. So they left points on the board, and then on top of it, the penalty situation. So, yeah, the texter is right here. I mean, FAMU, of course, FCS. I mean, it shouldn't be competitive at the end of it, but it was. So
yeah, exactly. That's a problem.
Yeah.
And that's getting 4 turnovers.
Sure.
Yeah.
I know.
If Baker knew the D calls and we only scored 20, time for Trask. This is offense can sometimes be a little, the points on the board a little bit deceiving. For me, good offense in the second half, you keep the ball for 20 minutes, which the Bucs did against Vikings. A great offense, trying to doing everything they can to win a game. That's good offense.
Yeah.
You scored 3 times? You had three scoring drives of the 5 times they had the ball, and the other one they took a knee.
That's pretty good. And long drives in itself, 8-minute drive, that wears down the defense. That's exactly what you want. And again, it's not going to be necessarily pretty football. That's okay, as long as it's winning football, as long as you're winning the turnover battle, which is what I focused on the post-game show for me. The turnover battle, that was the most important. Yeah, 173, 34 times. Not the prettiest statistics, but you know what's pretty? No interceptions, no fumbles.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the difference there.
That's way better. Way better. All right. There was another story out there. We talked a little bit about this yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
The NFLPA now is involved in this Aaron Rodgers injury. We need to make all the fields natural turf and blah, 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 blah. And my response to that was from the NFLPA, why didn't you bargain it out? If it was so important to you, why didn't you, during the CBA negotiations, say, look, we want all the fields to be grass fields. Mm-hmm. We have the technology. We can do it. We're a gazillion-dollar industry. Let's do it. Let's protect our players. Let's make them all grass fields. So the NFLPA now getting up on their high horse, demanding that, okay, so the World Cup is coming and you can trade it out and do it all because, soccer players won't play on those fields. They won't do it. Not only for the injuries, but the ball reacts way differently on that stuff than it does, and they're just not used to it, right? So it would affect the quality of the game in a great way. So there's a little something other than just injuries, but still, the point is made. If you could do it for the World Cup, why can't you do it for the NFL? And listen, one of our listeners said, listen, when you play like MetLife Stadium, imagine what that field would have looked like on Monday night.
It would have been a mess.
After Sunday night's rain debacle, the 40-0 debacle. Imagine coming back when it's rained all day on Monday as well. What would that field have looked like on Monday night? Would that have been a safe field to play on?
Is it
remember
really a surprise that the National Football League does not care about the safety of their players? Let's just look at the history of this. You didn't have any safety rules until lawsuits came down the pike, until former players decided to sue you.
Right.
So, why am I supposed to think that they actually care? Because, again, we're still talking about safety, and yet we're still talking about Thursday night football games.
An 18-game season.
Right.
An 18 game. And they act like, but we'll take away a preseason game. Starters don't play in the preseason anyway.
Right.
So don't say would they rather play 4 preseason games and 16 regular season games or 18 regular season games? Answer, 16 regular season games. But hey, the players said, listen, you pay us more, we'll play. So I don't want to hear them bitching about that either. All of this stuff is collectively bargained. All of it. So, the players now, your union chief is all of a sudden, all for grass fields. Well, okay, where was that when you had to give up money to get them? No, you wanted the money.
You wanted the money. That's it. Right. You took the money, and that's what happens. And who's representing them?
Again, I'm not saying they shouldn't go to all grass fields. I think there's, some merit to it. But I'm also saying don't throw the NFL under the bus when you could have done something about this as well as a union. So
right. Well, this is nothing new because we've always heard about players getting hurt on artificial turf, and you always think about Michael Irving. I remember him getting hurt in Philadelphia on that hard artificial turf. And basically it ended his career.
Oh yeah, some of that old turf was
it's awful.
Man.
It's awful. Why not go to all grass fields? I don't understand it. I really don't.
Well, I gave you one example why you wouldn't. Because these dual, like in Los Angeles, that's a dual two team stadium. The Meadowlands, you got 2 teams playing there. I guess those are the only ones that have 2 teams.
Sure.
So those are the only ones. But you also have, like Raymond James has USF playing on it.
Right.
They seem to get it done. They seem to be fine. It's one of the best surfaces in the league. So they have a college team that plays here, and they'll double dip this weekend, as a matter of fact, right? So USF's playing at home, and then they got to get the field ready for all the burn marks that Alabama's going to put in that turf on Saturday.
I really hope it's a close
down
game.
the field.
I really do. I'm trying to be optimistic about it, but you're exactly right. I mean, the level of talent there, and that will be a key, right? I mean, how the field conditions are going to be on Sunday for the Bucs game versus the Bears. You know, how they take care of it. They do a pretty good job of it.
They do a great job. But if there was a monsoon on Saturday, and those big, fat ass Alabama linemen are out there chunking up everything, and then then the next day, the NFL gets pissed about that. They get really pissed about that.
Sure,
but that won't be a problem in a couple of years because USF's going to have their own stadium.
That's it. There you go.
And I wonder what kind of turf they're going to put in. Will they put natural turf? It's going to be open air. Or are they going to go with the?
It's got to be grass.
No, but the lacrosse team's got to play on it.
Yeah.
The soccer team's probably going to play on it. So you got all this wear and tear. It's not as easy as you might think.
It's a good point.
I'm not a horticulturist, but I know it's not as I've been called a whore, but not a horticulturist.
That sounds like something kids would say at the VMAs.
I'm not a horticulturist, but I grow my own weed. No. All right, we got to take our final break. We got one more break to get to.
Yeah, we do.
Yes. Thanking our great sponsors like Extravaganza Productions. Hey, you got a party coming up? Big birthday party? How about let the pros handle it and come up with a great theme with their huge warehouse full of props? That's Extravaganza Productions. From big to small, they do it all. I work with them for the Warrior Games, the Florida Sports Hall of Fame. They're doing the 90s Con convention this weekend. They're an awesome, awesome group to work with. They'll do your charity event for you as well. Extravaganza Productions, get a free creative session with the folks over there, Paul and Dolly, and tell them JP sent you. Extravaganzaproductions.com. Back in 3. Stay with us.
The mortgage guy did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz, the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man, Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com. Have any old coins sitting around the house? Well, the Golden Diamond Source will purchase a variety of different types of coins and bullion. Their gold buying program includes sterling silver, silver, platinum, and watches. They also accept unusual pieces that other jewelry stores do not, such as gold bars and sterling silver flatware. The list of items they do accept is far more extensive than those they don't, so check it out. While you're there, you can check out the largest collection of any family-owned jewelry store in the country, especially with summer coming to an end. The holidays are right around the corner. Never too early to start your holiday shopping, especially if you're planning on getting engaged or have any birthdays or anniversaries coming up. Come on in and find out what buying jewelry should be like with an expert staff of gold and diamond jewelry enthusiasts. And the best part, they treat you like family. And if you're worrying about price, don't. The Golden Diamond Source has something for everyone's budget. They even have a layaway. If you stop in and get your favorite piece now, you can have it paid off by Christmas. Plus, you can even finance your purchase with 0% interest for up to 5 years, and you can get a $5,000 diamond for only $83 a month. It's the greatest folks in the world, Julie and Steve Weintraub, the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up.
40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
Peterson Show. We thank all of our great sponsors for making this show possible, including our good friends at American Mortgage Services. Scott Fitzgerald will get your loan and get it right, lowest rates, and he will keep the fees down as well. He even help you with all of your local finances, whatever you need to learn about where to put your money. He will take care of that as well. So you can reach him, Scott at amstampa.com. Tell him JP sent you. He's done 3 of my loans. He's the best in the business. Scott Fitzgerald, Scott at amstampa.com.
Nice. Comment here by Ron. They can build fields that drain Notre Dame
and North Carolina State. Yeah.
This weekend, Friday and Saturday, and the field was fine. So.
Yeah, they've got a lot more technology now than they've ever had. You know, they can suck the water out of it. They can, put unfreeze it with the heaters underneath it. So there's a lot they can do. There's a lot they can do that they weren't able to do before. So I think it's worth the investment. Who's to say that that's what caused Aaron Rodgers' injury, the torn Achilles? I don't know. I just know that I've played on that stuff and it's sticky as hell. I'm surprised there aren't more injuries, to be quite honest. You saw Odell Beckham Jr. in the Super Bowl, just these non-contact injuries. It's just weird. And the newer it is, the stickier it is. And you saw all the guys getting up on the games at Giants Field, Jet Life Stadium, whatever the hell you want to call it. They had that stuff all over them, the chopped up rubber tires. I'm like, is that do you want that going up your nose and all that other stuff? Like, is that something you really want to play in?
Yeah.
Shoot up rubber tires? I don't know.
Doesn't sound too good. Doesn't sound too healthy either.
No, it really doesn't.
You have.
No.
Yeah. I mean, it comes down to this, right? The Jets couldn't protect him. And there was already red flags there with him having a calf injury.
Yeah.
So, and you didn't do your due diligence. You invested all this money in skill positions, which is fine. But as we know, an NFL team is built where? Between the lines. Offensive line, defensive line. Yeah, they got a good defensive line, but offensive line, not very good. Not very good at all.
Micah Parsons today coming out, the Dallas pass rusher, saying he couldn't believe that Daniel Jones was in the game till the end. He said, "I do not agree with Daniel Jones staying out there until the last drive. I thought that was wrong. I thought that was deceiving. That's your franchise quarterback, and he's out there with a backup offensive line still getting sacked and hit. I just didn't understand. Maybe it was a prove-it moment by the Giants. I have no idea. A learning lesson. Who knows? But I thought Daniel Jones should have been pulled out." Yeah. Doesn't everybody believe that?
Besides Giant fans.
That Brian Daboll, who said he was trying to get something positive going. Dude, it's 40-0.
The positive thing is ending the game. That's the positive thing. Where do we go get dinner afterwards? How do we end this debacle?
I mean, when it goes that bad, you just got to just live to fight another day.
That's it.
Jump on in. We got this poll going for the next 21 hours till tomorrow's show. Our Buccaneers Baker Mayfield confidence poll. That's my quarterback now getting 43%, tied with still skeptical as they come around the first turn. Bring on Trask now up to 2% and tank for a top quarterback in at 12%. So we're going neck and neck with that's my quarterback and still skeptical. Both at 43%. So get your vote in. I haven't voted yet, but still skeptical is obviously the go-to answer here. But that's my quarterback, man. Yeah. I'm riding with Baker Mayfield, man. Yeah. I love this dude. I'm not going to be on the fence about it. That's not my style. You know that. I could go still skeptical, but no. I mean, he hadn't proven it yet, but game one, after playing, all of 2 series with your offensive line in the preseason, which definitely should have played more. I think he played tremendously well. He played winning football. He made the big plays that you needed him to make. A great throw to Mike Evans against the blitz to get that first touchdown. A nice sidearm. Why didn't everybody go crazy on that? Patrick Mahomes threw it sidearm. Oh my God.
Right.
Yeah. Guess what? Baker did it too. Anybody? Nope.
Bernie Kosar did it in the 80s. I mean,
every pass was sidearm.
Sidearm, right. Exactly. Big deal. I mean, for me, it was the moment where he puts his shoulder down and he's going for the first down at that point. Like, this is your quarterback. This is what you want. This is that blue collar mentality. That's what you want out of your quarterback.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
This is one of my favorite stories of the day. Joe Milton is going to throw the ball 105 yards. So he's the quarterback at Tennessee, right? The former, where he was at UCF, I think. They believe that he will throw a ball 105 yards in a game. I got to believe that to see that. He could throw a baseball 95. He's already thrown one 70 yards. But 105, no.
Yeah.
That ain't happening.
I don't know.
No. But they say it's going to happen. So I'll be the first one.
We'll see.
All right. What else anything else we missed on? The Rays at the Twins again today
at 12:30, right after the show here.
And then we got the big series this weekend, which the Rays have to take 3 or 4. If they don't take 3 or 4, they got no shot of winning the division whatsoever. Got to take 3 or 4 this weekend. And they better go ahead and take care of business against Minnesota today.
Yes.
That's a 110 start. 110, 12:30 on your Bally Sports or however you watch and consume Rays baseball. Trying to see the pitching matchup today.
Which will be good because it'll get me through the day when I go to my sales job and I have to talk to Esther and Winifred and they're yelling at me like they always do. I'll be able to just.
How you going to sell if you're watching baseball, bro?
Man,
how's that work?
I just zone out, whatever they say. Okay, have a rebuttal, and then okay, have a great day. Hopefully, my employer's not watching because they
probably are. Yeah, not a good look, man. Not a good look.
Sometimes you have to zone out because they yell at you. And you can barely hear after that. I mean, it's like going to a Minnesota game.
I got you.
So loud. So.
All right, we will be back tomorrow. I'm going to try to get on over to the Buccaneers and get to we'll have some sound from the players tomorrow. We'll have all kinds of stuff from New Baker Mayfield for you tomorrow. We got Scott Carter on tomorrow to preview the Tennessee University of Florida game, which is going to be a huge game this weekend. We'll see how good this young Gator team can really be. So lots more coming up the rest of the week. I think we got Harry the Greek on tomorrow, give you more winners. So big day tomorrow on the JP Peterson Show. You do not want to miss that at all. Go Rays today, this afternoon, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.